group. But when I was a young man, back in my 20s, starting off in life, I worked for my dad's construction company, which is something I did not enjoy doing. He was the hardest working man I've ever known. And at that stage of my life, I wasn't quite wanting to do all of that hard work the way he did. But one day, he did construction work, and we were out on a job on a house that was kind of sinking down into the ground. And there he had me with a shovel shoveling around the house, trying to find where some water might be flowing. And he felt if I dug down a little bit, eventually I would find the source of the water flow. And at one point, I was digging at a certain point, and when I put my shovel in the ground vibrated, and that kind of sounded or felt odd. I thought maybe that was electrical or something, so I put my shovel down there again, and a couple of bees came out of the ground. Now, I didn't know what they were, but they were clearly bees. And so I called a cousin over who was also working with us and asked him what he thought it was. And he took the shovel and poked it in the ground, and a few bees came flying out. And he said, "Tony, that's a ground hornet's nest. You need to get away from that." And so I called over to my dad and said, "Dad, you need to come over here." I said, "I need to stop digging because this is a ground hornet's nest." And of course, my dad, I guess just the world that he grew up in, he was not really ever afraid of anything. And he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Dig down there. We've got to find this water." And I said, "Dad, I'm not doing it." So he snatched the shovel out of my hand, and me and my cousin got pretty far away. And my dad took that shovel and raised it up, and he shoved it into the ground. And when he did, it was like those cartoons we used to watch when we were children, where all those bees would fly around. And they came out of the ground. I mean, it seemed like by the thousands, and they were stinging him everywhere. And you say, "Well, what's funny about that?" What's funny about it is because of the way he reacted. He threw the shovel and he took off running at full speed, and we took off running, and while he was running, they were still stinging him. And he said, "They're eating me up." Anyway, every time I think of my dad, I think of that story. And to this day, even though that was 40 years ago almost, I still